Welcome back to the news at 10. And now to our focus on health. With an estimated 3.5 million Nigerians infected with HIV, and the country, that is Nigeria, with the second largest number of people living with the virus in Africa. After South Africa, Nigeria's HIV response needs community-specific approaches with less reliance on donors. This is one of the findings by our correspondent Jamil Taigbe, as our focus on health tonight is on the importance of taking HIV testing, prevention and treatment a notch higher.
People living positively with HIV in a treatment clinic at the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, Lagos. Since the first case of the acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, was reported in Nigeria in 1986, the seroprevalence rate of the infection rapidly increased from 1.9% in 1999 to 5.8% in 2001. And the drivers of the HIV epidemic in Nigeria include multiple sexual partners, mother-to-child transmission, low-risk perception, poverty, and HIV/AIDS-related stigma and discrimination. Although the seroprevalence rate has dropped from that 5.8% to its current 4.1%, the drivers of the virus remain the same.
We have patients who have been on drugs for more than 10 years. We have people more than 5 years. What it means is that we've made progress. But the progress is still suboptimal. We need to invest more. We need to own the program more so that we'll save a lot of lives. Presently in Nigeria now, it's maybe about 1.5 million persons are eligible to be on drugs according to Nigerian guidelines. But we're still short. We are still about 600,000. Nigeria still contributes about 30% of the global gap in PMCTC gaps. And we are still, our coverage is still low, just like below 30%. Even WHO put it at about 13%. So what it means is that we need to invest more in prevention of mother-to-child transmission.
Also, there is the call for a more creative and innovative youth-friendly HIV campaign, testing and treatment approaches, as the adolescents remain most vulnerable to the infection.
This age is the age where, out of so many reasons put together, they are the age that explore. And this is also the age where the sexual and reproductive health or lifestyle it takes a unique pattern, so that all the campaigns of abstain, use your condom, be faithful to your partner, and even just these basic ones, it's been found that it's difficult for them to comply.
While HIV has no cure for now, the world is united in singing the song of prevention, testing and early treatment, which has shown some promises.
An Israeli who was diagnosed to be HIV infected in 1997, and by the year 2000 having been placed on highly active antiretroviral therapy, became HIV antibody seronegative. Viral load became undetectable. What may have happened is a situation that may happen in another person who actually initiate a early treatment.
Perhaps this early initiation and continued treatment is paying off for Mr. Patrick Akpan, who has been living positively with HIV since 2004 and married to a woman who is HIV negative.
We married since 2005, and she's negative. As that last month, I ran a test for her. She's still negative, and we have 2 children who are all negative.
What it means is that the partner is on treatment and they meet regularly with condom, and it's only when they plan they want to have a baby, they sit down with a doctor who will be able to discuss with them on those time during the woman's fertility period, so that exposure is minimal and they were able to have children.
Although antiretroviral drugs are largely available in urban HIV treatment centers, the same cannot be said of the rural areas and for some class of the ARV drugs.
We have certain people who need to take a certain class of drug. These people may have kidney impairment, so they don't supposed to take a combined dose of drug. So they're supposed to have a reduced kind of dose of drug. So this reduced dose of drug are not being supplied. So it is a problem. And if you don't take this drug, definitely we can't get to zero. People will die. There will be death-related cases.
Getting to zero new HIV infection, discrimination, and AIDS-related deaths involve avoiding the risk factors for the infection, knowing your HIV status, and getting prompt treatment if positive. Government at all levels will also do well to provide support and drugs needed, just as Nigerians wait for the Anti-Stigma and Discrimination Bill to become law. Yomi Otaigbo reporting for Channels Television News.
And now it's time for business news with Loretta Chiogo.
Thank you, Olumide, and we begin with this report that says Nigeria's Minister of Power, Chinedu Nebo, wants a stronger business relationship with South Africa, especially in the area of power. The minister was speaking when he received a delegation of trade and investment team from South Africa. According to him, Nigeria is enjoying the strategic partnership with South Africa in the areas of telecommunication and other businesses. Mr. Nebo disclosed that Nigeria is eager to learn from South Africa as it has a robust per capita power supply status with 43 million people and 40,000 megawatts. The minister assured the visiting team that there are more opportunities in power generation despite their invisibility in the ongoing privatization, adding transmission, metering, and even manufacturing of parts like circuit breakers, cables, power lines, and switches require investment from South Africa. The International Monetary Fund has advised the federal government to build up the momentum in its fiscal consolidation drive. This is contained in the IMF Article 4 consultation statement recently released. According to IMF, Nigeria's fiscal consolidation is progressing well, and the momentum needs to be preserved through the ongoing election cycle. IMF maintains that lower than budgeted oil revenues are impacting budgetary plans at federal, state, and local levels, and said there is need for rebuilding fiscal buffers to manage oil revenue volatility. The fund noted that for Nigeria to move forward a sustainable non-oil primary deficit path, it will require resolving continuing fiscal consolidation through resisting pro-cyclical election spending, mobilizing non-oil revenue, improving efficiency in the public sector, and strengthening transparency in the oil sector governance. Well, the interbank lending rates rose marginally to an average of 10.75% this week from 10.5% last week after the central bank tightening measures reduced money supply. Traders say around 6.5 billion naira was withdrawn from banks this week to meet the regulator's cash reserve requirement, that is the CRR rules. The central bank hiked the CRR on public sector deposits to 50% from 12% in July, and in a bid to curb money laundering and speculation on the naira currency. The open buyback rose to 10.50% on Friday compared to 10.25% last week, 1.50 percentage points below the central bank's benchmark interest rate of 12%. Now, overnight placement closed at 10.75% as against 10.5% last week, while core money closed 11%, same level last week. The Nigeria equities market ended the week in the red as sell pressure continued, pushing the all-share index further southwards. The keyboard index dipped by 0.3% at 38,738.15 points. The market capitalization also dipped, but is still trending above 12 trillion naira. Food giant Nestle topped the list of laggards with 25 naira loss. Nigerian breweries followed with 2 naira, while Mobile shed 1 naira 80 kobo to close at 108 naira 20 kobo. Wapco, Okomo Oil and Union Daikon were Friday's top 3 price appreciators with gains under 4 naira. Unity Bank, Wapik and Transcorp were the top trades for the day, pulling the highest volume of shares. In all, investors churned out a total of 512.01 million units of shares valued at 3.1 billion naira, exchanged in over 4,000 deals. And that's it on Business News. And News at 10 continues with Olumide.
Next on the news at 10, mourners continue to gather at tribute sites all over South Africa to honor the late anti-apartheid crusader and freedom fighter Nelson Mandela. Please join us again.